Why do we bother donating or helping out strangers? Have you ever wondered why someone would stop on a rainy night to help a stranger with a flat tire? Why would someone donate money to a family they will never meet? Why do people give blood without knowing whose life they might save? Or risk their own safety to pull someone from danger? From a logical point of view, these actions don't seem to make sense. There is often no reward, no recognition. Sometimes, no one even knows they helped. Yet every day, millions of people choose kindness. Why? What is it inside us that makes us care about someone we've never met? Imagine you're walking through a busy city after work. People hurry past, focused on their own lives. Then, you notice an elderly man struggling with heavy grocery bags. No one asks you to help. There are no cameras. You could keep walking, and no one would think less of you. But something inside quietly says, "Help him." Where does that voice come from? It isn't written on a sign, and nobody taught it to you in that moment. It comes from somewhere much deeper. That quiet instinct is one of the most remarkable parts of being human. Scientists call it empathy. It is our ability to imagine another person's struggle as if, for a moment, it were our own. When we see someone suffering, our minds don't simply observe it. We picture ourselves in the same situation. Suddenly, helping doesn't feel like a burden. It feels natural. But empathy alone doesn't explain everything. For thousands of years, humans survived because they depended on one another. No one could do everything alone. Some hunted. Some gathered food. Some cared for children. Some protected the group. When one person became weak, everyone became weaker. Helping each other wasn't simply kindness. It was how entire communities survived. Over generations, cooperation became more than a survival strategy. It became part of who we are. Today, our lives look very different. Most of us don't rely on our neighbors to survive each day. Yet the instinct to help remains. It appears whenever we see someone in need. Think about what happens after an earthquake, flood, or wildfire. Within hours, people begin donating food, clothes, medicine, and money. Volunteers travel long distances to help complete strangers. Many have no personal connection to those affected, yet they still choose to give. Because suffering speaks a language every human understands. Perhaps the greatest mystery is this: why do people continue helping when they know they will never be repaid? A child receives life-saving surgery paid for by anonymous donations. An elderly widow finds groceries left quietly at her door. A student earns a scholarship from someone they will never meet. The giver expects nothing in return. Not money, not recognition, not even a thank you. Some of the most meaningful acts of kindness happen in complete silence. Maybe that's because true generosity is not a transaction. It is a reflection of character. Real kindness simply asks, "Can I make someone else's burden a little lighter?" If the answer is yes, helping becomes enough. Interestingly, researchers have found that generosity benefits the giver as well. People who regularly help others often experience greater happiness, stronger relationships, and a deeper sense of purpose. The reward isn't financial, it's emotional. Helping reminds us that our lives have the power to improve someone else's. But charity isn't only about money. Sometimes the greatest gift costs nothing. Listening to someone who feels alone, offering encouragement when someone is ready to give up, holding the door for a stranger, giving up your seat, checking on an elderly neighbor, sharing your knowledge, giving your time, showing patience. Every person has something valuable to give. Some have money, others have experience. Some have strength, others simply have compassion. The value of generosity is never measured by its size. It is measured by the difference it makes. History often remembers wealthy philanthropists, but our communities are held together by ordinary people whose names are never known. The teacher who stays after class to help a struggling student, the neighbor who quietly shovels snow from someone else's driveway, The mechanic who repairs a family's car without charging them. The stranger who buys a meal for someone who is hungry. These moments rarely make headlines, yet they quietly make the world a better place. Now imagine the opposite. Imagine a world where nobody helped anyone. No volunteers, no blood donors, no rescue workers, no neighbors checking on each other, no strangers stopping after an accident. Technology would still exist. Cities would still grow. But something essential would be missing. Without kindness, trust begins to disappear. And without trust, society slowly falls apart. Maybe that's why generosity appears in every culture throughout history. People may speak different languages. They may have different traditions. They may see the world differently. Yet almost every society teaches that helping others is one of the highest qualities a person can have. Perhaps this is because generosity changes two lives at once. It helps the person receiving it, and it shapes the person giving it. Every act of kindness strengthens compassion. The more we practice it, the more naturally it becomes part of who we are. Like a muscle, kindness grows stronger every time we use it. Even young children often comfort someone who is crying before anyone teaches them why. Before they understand success, before they understand wealth, they already understand compassion. Maybe compassion isn't something we create. Maybe it's something we discover. A quiet part of ourselves that has always been there, waiting for the moment someone else needs it. So the next time you see a stranger who needs help, remember, you may never meet them again. They may never know your name. They may never be able to repay you. But because of one small decision, someone's hardest day could become a little easier. And perhaps that is one of the clearest answers to the question, what makes us human? Not our intelligence, not our wealth, not our achievements, but our willingness to notice another person's pain and choose to care. Because in the end, humanity is not measured by what we keep. It is measured by what we choose to give.